Let's get right into it. Number 9. You are a breeding ground. You think your face is perfectly clean after a hot shower. You think scrubbing clears out your pores. It doesn't. Right now, there is a thriving population of microscopic arachnids permanently living on your skin. They are called Demodex mites. They look like tiny, translucent worms with 8 stubby legs, and they spend their days buried head first inside your hair follicles. When you go to sleep and the lights go out, they crawl out of those pores to mate on the surface of your face. But that isn't the most disturbing part. These mites survive by feeding on the natural oils your skin produces. But evolutionary biology played a bizarre trick on them. Demodex mites do not have an anus. They have absolutely no physical way to excrete waste. So, over their short 2-week lifespan, they just keep eating, stubbornly storing a lifetime of waste inside their own expanding bodies. When they finally reach the end of their lives, they literally burst open, spilling all of that accumulated waste directly into your pores. You cannot wash them away, and you cannot kill them off. You aren't just a person looking in the mirror. You are a walking, breathing ecosystem. Number 8. Your cells are hostages. Most of us remember that one phrase drilled into our heads during high school biology. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. You probably picture it as just another built-in component, a tiny battery manufactured by your own body. It isn't. When scientists looked closer at how our cells actually function, they found a massive biological glitch. Mitochondria have their own entirely separate DNA. It does not match the human genetic code found in the rest of your body. That is because they were never meant to be human at all. Billions of years ago, mitochondria were free-living, independent bacteria. Eventually, one of our ancient, single-celled ancestors swallowed one whole. But instead of digesting the bacteria, our ancestor kept it trapped. Over millions of years, that swallowed organism became permanently enslaved, forced to pump out energy for its new host. And the arrangement stuck. Every single time your cells divide today, those trapped bacteria are forced to divide right along with them. You are literally powered by an ancient infection that your biology swallowed and never let go of. They aren't a part of your original design. They are just hostages working a billion-year shift. Number 7. The forest is a war zone. When you walk through a quiet forest, you probably imagine a peaceful, cooperative ecosystem. You might have even heard of the Wood Wide Web. It's a massive underground fungal network that lets trees share water and nutrients with each other. It sounds like a beautiful, natural community, but botanists have discovered the dark side of that system. Those trees are not just sharing, they are actively waging invisible warfare. The same root-connected fungi that transfer food are also being used as delivery systems for biochemical weapons. Scientists call this process allelopathy. When certain trees need more sunlight or water, they don't just try to outgrow their neighbors. They pump highly toxic chemicals down into their roots and straight into the shared fungal network. Take the black walnut tree, for example. It uses the network to inject a targeted poison directly into the root systems of competing plants, suffocating them from the inside out. The target plant slowly withers and dies off, leaving all the surrounding resources for the attacker. It is a highly strategic, completely silent assassination happening right beneath your boots. The forest isn't a cooperative utopia, it is an active war zone. Number 6. You are part virus. Roughly 8% of the genetic code inside your body right now does not actually belong to you. It belongs to ancient viruses. When we think of a virus, we usually picture a temporary invader that makes us sick, runs its course, and leaves. But millions of years ago, a specific class of pathogens called retroviruses infected our evolutionary ancestors and did something far more permanent. Instead of just hijacking a host cell to replicate and die off, they spliced their own genetic code directly into our ancestors' sperm and egg cells. That changed the course of human evolution. Because the viral DNA was implanted into the reproductive system, the infection wasn't just survived, it was inherited. It was passed down from generation to generation, becoming permanently woven into the human blueprint. Scientists call these endogenous retroviruses. But this is not just dead genetic baggage. We actually rely on it to exist. Researchers discovered that a crucial protein called syncytine, which allows mammals to successfully form a placenta during pregnancy, is entirely viral in origin. The human body essentially hijacked the virus's own code and used it to give birth. Without that prehistoric infection, human reproduction as we know it would be physically impossible. You spend your whole life trying to avoid catching a virus, completely unaware that you are literally built out of them. Number 5. You never actually leave. Mothers often say that a piece of their child will always be with them. We treat it like a sweet, sentimental metaphor about emotional bonds, but scientists have discovered that it is actually a literal biological fact. During pregnancy, a phenomenon called fetal microchimerism takes place. Cells from the growing fetus detach, cross the placental barrier, and migrate freely throughout the mother's bloodstream. They don't just float around temporarily, they actively embed themselves into her major organs. Researchers have found these foreign fetal cells permanently grafted into maternal tissue, in the lungs, the kidneys, and even deep inside the mother's brain. And those cells do not die off after delivery. They integrate into the tissue and go to work. If those fetal cells settle in the mother's heart, they will physically beat in sync with her own cardiac muscle. Decades after a child is born, long after they have grown up and moved out of the house, their living cells are still actively functioning inside their mother's body. You don't just carry a child for 9 months. You become a permanent, living mosaic of the people you create. Number 4. Your brain is plastic. For decades, biology has relied on something called the blood-brain barrier. It is the ultimate biological security checkpoint, designed to keep toxins, pathogens, and harmful chemicals strictly out of your brain tissue. You can ingest all the garbage you want, and that barrier is supposed to stop the worst of it from reaching your neurology. But modern life just broke the system. Every time you drink from a disposable water bottle or eat from packaged food, you are swallowing microscopic pieces of plastic. Until recently, doctors assumed your brain was safely shielded from this daily pollution. They were wrong. In major medical studies released across 2023 and 2024, scientists confirmed that nanoplastics are so incredibly small, they are successfully slipping right past the blood-brain barrier. They aren't just passing through either. These synthetic particles are actively accumulating directly inside human brain tissue. Researchers are still scrambling to figure out the exact long-term medical consequences of this buildup, but the immediate reality is undeniable. The plastic you throw away doesn't just end up in a landfill or the ocean. It is permanently settling inside your head. Number 3. The unkillable brain glitch. When you get a severe illness, you assume your body is being attacked by a living organism. A virus, a bacteria, a fungus, something your immune system can identify, hunt down, and eventually kill. But the most terrifying disease on Earth isn't alive at all. It is caused by something called a prion. A prion is just a normal, everyday protein in your body that spontaneously forgets how to fold itself correctly. Because it is not a foreign pathogen and contains zero genetic material, your immune system doesn't even recognize it as a threat. It completely ignores it. And that is where the clinical horror begins. This single misfolded protein acts like a microscopic zombie. When it bumps into a perfectly healthy protein, it physically forces that healthy one to misfold too. A silent, unstoppable chain reaction sweeps through your neurology, slowly eating microscopic holes directly into your brain tissue. In a specific prion condition called fatal familial insomnia, this structural damage specifically targets the brain's sleep center. You simply lose the physical ability to fall asleep ever again. Patients deteriorate over several agonizing months until their nervous system completely shuts down. There is no cure, no treatment, and no way to slow it down. It carries a 100% mortality rate. You cannot kill it because it was never alive to begin with. Number 2, your eyes are hiding. Your immune system is designed to protect your entire body. It patrols your blood vessels, hunting down infections and destroying damaged cells. But there is one major organ it completely ignores: your eyes. From a biological standpoint, your immune system has no idea your eyes even exist. They operate under a strict biological rule called ocular immune privilege. Because severe inflammation inside the eye would permanently destroy your vision, the body built a physical barrier to keep the immune system out entirely. As long as that barrier stays perfectly intact, you can see. But if you suffer a severe physical trauma that ruptures that barrier, everything changes. The moment immune cells flood in and detect the proteins inside your eye, they don't recognize them as part of your own body. They register them as a massive foreign infection. The immune system will instantly launch a full-scale autoimmune attack, actively destroying the tissue. It can even travel to the other, healthy eye and destroy that one too. A condition called sympathetic ophthalmia. Your vision isn't just fragile, it only exists because your eyes are successfully hiding from the rest of your body. Number 1. The universe could snap. We assume the physical laws of our universe are permanent and completely stable. But theoretical physics suggests our entire reality actually rests on a terrifyingly fragile foundation. It comes down to the Higgs field, which gives everything its mass. For reality to be safe, this field must be at its absolute lowest energy state, an unbreakable floor. But calculations by Stephen Hawking and modern physicists show we might not only be in a false vacuum. The floor we are standing on isn't the bottom. It is just a temporary ledge. If a random quantum event causes a tiny piece of space to slip off that ledge and drop to the true bottom, the result is absolute erasure. It would spawn a localized bubble of perfectly stable, true vacuum. And that bubble wouldn't just sit there. It would instantly begin expanding outward in all directions at exactly the speed of light. Inside that bubble, the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology completely cease to exist. It would rip apart every atom, planet, and galaxy it touched. Because it moves at the speed of light, you would never even see it coming. Everything would just be here, and then, instantly, it wouldn't.